Dear students, good morning. Today we shall see the current approaches and methods in communicative language teaching. We are dealing with English language teaching. So today's topic is CLT, that is communicative language teaching. Here I am Dr. Joy Christina. Let's move into the class. We are going to see the definition of CLT, the core principles, and the role in ELT. Now, what is CLT? Communicative language teaching. This is an approach focused on real communication, language as a tool for interaction, meaning, and form. Now, the historical background is this is a shift from grammar translation method, influence of sociolinguistics, rise of functional national syllabuses. Now, the key features of CLT are learner-centered, authentic communication, task-based activities, focus on fluency. Now, what is the role of teacher in CLT? Teacher's role is facilitator, guide, observer, encourages negotiation of meaning. Now, the learner's role is the learners would be active participants, communicator, and collaborative learner. We shall see the classroom techniques, role plays, group discussions, problem solving tasks, information gap activities. Advantages of communicative language teaching, that is CLT. The advantages of CLT are this improves fluency, enhances confidence, promotes real life use of language. Now, the challenges in CLT: large classrooms, low proficiency levels, assessment would be difficult, teacher training needs. CLT in ELT today. Integrated with digital tools, blended learning, and TBLT, which is task-based language teaching. Conclusion is CLT remains central to modern ELT, focuses on communication, builds practical competencies. Now we'll go in detail. We will examine the methodology known as communicative language teaching or CLT and explore the assumptions it is based on, its origins and evolution since it was first proposed in the year 1970s, and how it has influenced approaches to language teaching today. Since its inception in the 1970s, CLT has served as a major source of influence on language teaching practice around the world. What is communicative language teaching? Communicative language teaching can be understood as a set of principles about the goals of language teaching, how learners learn a language, the kinds of classroom activities that best facilitate learning, and the roles of teachers and learners in the classroom. Task 1. Which of the statements below do you think characterizes communicative language teaching? Number 1. People learn a language best when using it to do things rather than through studying how language works and practices rules. Grammar is no longer important in language teaching. People learn a language through communicating in it. Errors are not important in speaking language. CLT is only concerned with teaching speaking. Classroom activities should be meaningful and involve real communication. Dialogues are not used in CLT. Both accuracy and fluency are goals in CLT. CLT is usually described as a method of teaching. The goals of language teaching. Communicative language teaching sets as its goal the teaching of communicative competency. Grammatical communicative language teaching today refers to the knowledge we have of a language that accounts for our ability to produce sentences in a language. It refers to knowledge of the building blocks of sentences, for example, parts of speech, tenses, phrases, clauses, sentence patterns, and how sentences are formed. Grammatical competency is the focus of many grammar practices, which typically present a rule of grammar on one page and provide exercise to practice using the rule on the other page. Communicative competency includes the following aspects of language knowledge: knowing how to use language for a range of different purposes and functions, knowing how to vary our use of language according to the setting and the participants. For example, knowing when to use formal and informal speech or when to use language appropriately for written as opposed to spoken communication. Knowing how to produce and understand different types of text, example, narratives, reports, interviews, conversations. Knowing how to maintain communication despite having limitations in one's language knowledge, example, through using different kinds of communication strategies. Now, in task 2, consider the following sentences that are all requests for someone to open a door. Imagine the context is normal communication between two friends. Check if you think they conform to the rules of grammatical competency, GC, communicative competency, CC, or GC or CC. Please to opens door. I want the door to be opened by you. Would you be so terribly kind as to open the door for me? Could you open the door? To opening the door for me? Would you mind opening the door? The opening of the door is what I request. Kinds of classroom activities that best facilitate learning. With CLT began a movement away from traditional lesson formats where the focus was on mastery of different items of grammar and practice through controlled activities such as memorization of dialogues and drills, and toward the use of pair work activities, role plays, group work activities, and project work. Task 3. Examine a classroom text, either a speaking text or a general English course book. Can you find examples of exercise that practice grammatical competency and those that practice communicative competence? Which kinds of activities predominate? The roles of teachers and learners in the classroom. The type of classroom activities proposed in CLT also implied new rules in the classroom for teachers and learners. Learners now had to participate in classroom activities that were based on a cooperative rather than individualistic approach to learning. Students had to become comfortable with listening to their peers in group work or pair work task rather than relying on the teacher for a model. How learners learn a language. Our outstanding of the process of second language learning has changed considerably in the last 30 years. And CLT is partly a response to these changes in understanding. Second, in recent years, language learning has been viewed from a very different perspective. It is seen as resulting from processes such as interaction between the learner and users of the language, collaborative creation of meaning, creating meaningful and purposeful interaction through language, negotiation of meaning as the learner and his or her interlocutor arrive at understanding, learning through attending to the feedback learners get when they use the language. Paying attention to the language, one hears the input and trying to incorporate new forms into one's developing communicative competency, trying out and experimenting with different ways of saying things. Now, finally, task 4. What difficulties might students and teachers face because of changes in their roles in using a communicative methodology? Thank you for your patient listening. Let's meet in the next session. Here I take leave, Dr. Joy Christina.